Magandang hapon mga bata! Ngayong araw, ating pag-aaralan ay Division of Decimal Numbers sa Math 6, Week 7. Ang ating objectives ay divides whole number by decimals up to 2 decimal places and vice versa, at divides mixed decimals by another mixed decimals up to 2 decimal places. Bago tayo tumungo sa ating paksa, atin munang pagbalik-aralan how to divide whole numbers. 136 divided by 4. Ang sagot ay 34. Ating alamin kung paano nakuha ang 34. 136 divided by 4. 1 divided by 4 ay hindi pwede. Kaya, 13 divided by 4 ay 3. 3 times 4 ay 12. Then, subtract 13 minus 12 equals 1. Then, bring down 6. 16 divided by 4 ay 4. Then, multiply 4 times 4 equals 16. Subtract 16 minus 16 equals 0. Ang ating sagot ay 34. Ayan! Dahil inalala natin kung paano mag-divide, subukan nyo naman mga bata. 105 divided by 7. Tama! Ang sagot ay 15. Let us now study how to divide whole number by decimals. Let's have a word problem. Edna has a small sari-sari store. Every time she buys a 50 kilo caban of sugar, she repacks it into smaller bags, weighing 50 hundredths kilo. How many small plastic bags are needed by Edna? First, we need to understand the problem. What is asked in the problem? Correct. The number of small bags needed by Edna. Then, what are the given facts? We have 50 kilo caban of sugar and 50 hundredths kilo of small bags. Next, let us plan what operation shall we use to solve the problem. Correct. We need to use multiplication and division. After planning, we can now proceed in solving the word problem. So, we will divide 50 divided by 50 hundredths. Step 1. Multiply the divisor by 100 to make the divisor a whole number. 50 times 100 equals 5,000. Count the decimal places in the factor. 1, 2. Place the decimal point in the product based on the total number of decimal places in the factor. 1, 2. The product is 50. Or, just move the decimal point 2 places to the right. 1, 2 equals 50. Step 2. Multiply also dividend by 100. 50 times 100 equals 5,000. There is no decimal point in the factors. Therefore, the product is 5,000. Or, just add 2 zeros to 50. 1, 2. Step 3. Divide the numbers as you divide whole numbers. 5,000 divided by 50. 50 divided by 50 is 1. Then 1 times 50 equals 50. Subtract 50 minus 50 is equal to 0. Then bring down 0. 0 divided by 50 equals 0. Then 0 times 50 equals 0. Subtract 0 minus 0 equals 0. Then bring down again another 0. 0 divided by 50 equals 0. Then multiply 0 times 50 equals 0. Then subtract 0 minus 0 equals 0. So we have 100. Edna needs 100 small plastic bags. Para malaman kung tama ang ating sagot, we need to check or look back. Multiply the quotient by the divisor. 100 times 50. 100 ang ating quotient. At 50 naman ang ating divisor. So, 100 times 50 is equal to 5,000. The product should be equal to the dividend. Subukan nyo naman mga bata. 144 divided by 1 and 2/10 equals n. Tama! Ang sagot ay 120. Isa pa mga bata. 156 divided by 2 and 5/10 equals n. Magaling! Ang sagot ay 62 and 4/10. Ngayon, atin namang talakayin how to divide decimal by whole number. Halimbawa, 18 and 5400 divided by 18 equals n. Step 1. Place the decimal point in the quotient directly above the decimal point in the dividend. Step 2. Divide as whole number. 18 divided by 18 is 1. Then, 1 times 18 is equal to 18. Subtract 18 minus 18 is equal to 0. Then, bring down 5. 5 divided by 18 is 0. Then, multiply 0 times 18 is equal to 0. Subtract 5 minus 0 is equal to 5. Then, bring down 4. 54 divided by 18 is equal to 3. Multiply 3 times 18 is equal to 54. Subtract 54 minus 54 is 0. Step 3. Insert 0 to the dividend when needed. Ang ating sagot ay 1 3/100. Subukan nyo naman mga bata. 10 26/100 divided by 38 equals n. Tama! Ang sagot ay 27/100. Isa pa mga bata. 26 4/10 divided by 6 equals n. Tama! Ang sagot ay 4 4/10. Next, let us discuss dividing mixed decimal by another mixed decimal. Let's have a word problem. During the enhanced community quarantine, the city officials of Mandaluyong distributed variety of vegetables in every household in Barangay Addition Hills, weighing 15,700 and 50 kilograms. If each pack contains 4 5/10 kilograms, how many households were given? In this problem, to get how many households were given, we are going to divide 15,700 and 50 hundredths divided by 4 5/10 equals n. To divide, first, move the decimal point to make the divisor a whole number, 1. Then, move the decimal point in the dividend as many places as in the divisor. So, we will also move it by 1. Last, align the decimal point of the quotient with the decimal point in the dividend. Then, proceed to division like whole numbers. 157 divided by 45 equals 3. Then 3 times 45 is equal to 135. Subtract 157 minus 135 equals 22. Bring down 0. 220 divided by 45 equals 4. Then 4 times 45 equals 180. Subtract 220 minus 180 equals 40. Then, bring down again another 0. 400 divided by 45 equals 8. Then 8 times 45 equals 360. Subtract 400 minus 360 is equal to 40. Then, bring down 5. 405 divided by 45 equals 9. Then 9 times 45 equals 405. 405 minus 405 is 0. Then, bring down 0. 0 divided by 45 equals 0. Then, 0 times 45 equals 0. Subtract 0 minus 0 equals 0. Our quotient is 3,489. So, there were 3,489 households receives variety of vegetables. Subukan nyo naman mga bata. 12 24 hundredths divided by 1 2/10 equals n. Magaling! Ang sagot ay 10 and 2/10. Isa pa mga bata, 45 and 15/100 divided by 1 and 5/10 equals n. Magaling! Ang sagot ay 30 and 1/10. Remember, to divide the whole number by decimals, change the divisor to a whole number by moving the decimal point to the right. Move the decimal point in the dividend the same number of places as in the divisor. You will need to add one or more zeros, then divide. To divide decimal by a whole number, place the decimal point in the quotient directly above the decimal point in the dividend. Then, divide as in whole number. Insert zeros to the dividend when needed. To divide decimals, make the divisor a whole number by multiplying it by a power of 10. The short way of multiplying by a power of 10 is to move the decimal point to the right. To divide mixed decimals by another mixed decimals, change the divisor to a whole number by moving the decimal point to the rightmost part. Then, move the decimal point in the dividend the same number of places as in the divisor. You will need to add one or more zeros if needed. Place the decimal point in the quotient directly above the decimal point in the dividend. Then last, divide like whole numbers.